Oh boy! You guys, okay. So I just got home and I just got off Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Hollywood Studios, and holy cow, was it amazing. Before I get started on my review, I do have to tell you guys, I'm going to discuss spoilers in this vlog. So yeah, I wasn't able to film anything, so you're not going to see any footage from the ride if you keep watching, but I'm going to tell as much as I can remember because there is a lot. Like, it was a very busy ride. So anyway, let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Laramie on the Loose. So you guys, first off, I mean, we got to address the great movie elephant in the room and talk about Great Movie Ride. We'll miss it. Kinda. I don't miss it so much. And I especially don't miss it so much because this ride is amazing. And I think I saw someone on Twitter that Drunk at Disney follows. Someone said this is the exact ride that we need right now. And yeah, I couldn't agree any more with that. I think that perfectly sums it up. So yeah, so here's my experience of it. So I got invited to do a preview, which today was the first day that they did it. And when walking in to the queue through the old Fast Pass entrance for Great Movie Ride. And first and foremost, everything in the queue in the main room where they used to have like the Ark of the Covenant set up and all the movie props and all that, everything's the same as the Great Movie Ride, like identical. You got the dragons on the wall, like everything's the exact same, except for one small difference. And in certain spots on the walls, you'll see like electronic movie posters for different Mickey and Minnie cartoons and shorts and things like that. It reminded me of Mickey's Philhar Magic at Magic Kingdom, how you see the posters of all the different things all over the walls. That's what this was like. And then from there, so what would happen is you'd walk through the queue behind what would have been Ark of the Covenant, and my cat is chewing on cords. Okay, we're back. You walk behind what would have been Ark of the Covenant, and you go in this room, and they've built, it's like a new holding area for the queue. So you just wait there, and there's a ramp that goes down. There's like 2 switchbacks, and then you wait. So you're standing there waiting, and they said, okay, come on in, guys. And what you do, why am I upside down? Don't be weird, camera. See, this is my camera now. This is my life. Apparently, that's a problem. Anyway, okay. So what you do from that queue is they invite you in, and you walk in these doors, and there's just a metal handrail set up, and you look up, and there's this big screen that's sitting right there. And they bring everyone in. It's a holding room, very similar to like a like Dinosaur, where you watch the whole intro video with Dr. Seeker. Similar to that sort of feel. But you're standing there watching this cartoon, because the cartoon starts. It's a Mickey and Minnie cartoon, and everyone's just standing there. And you're watching the cartoon, and in the tune, something happens. See, I won't do too many spoilers. But something happens, and there's a big explosion. And what happens is the screen, you guys, and this is a big spoiler again, if you don't want to know, stop watching right now. So with this big explosion, what happens is, last chance to leave, the screen like explodes. And so you just see the screen like sticking out at you, and then these railings drop, and they just say, okay, everyone go on into the movie. And you walk into the screen, so you're just walking in, and then there's more queue, but now you're in the cartoon. And it's amazing, you guys. It felt like this part of the queue that you're waiting felt like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train meets No, pretty much just felt like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Like it's all enclosed. It's very very cartoony everywhere. You know, it kind of feels like Thunder Mountain a little bit too, because you're in what feels like a shed of some sort. I'm sure everyone's going to clarify exactly what you're in, but you're in a railway depot pretty much. And there's a couple long switchbacks, not horrible or anything. We moved through it pretty quick. And what you get up front, they ask you how many, you tell them, they put you in your spot. Okay. So now what happens, the big train that Goofy's driving, which you don't see Goofy right now, pulls up. Okay, and the train looks very similar to the great movie ride Cars. However, there were 4 cars. You know, so you have the head of the train, or the engine, I guess. You have the 4 cars, which had 2 rows each, or 4 rows each, something like, I think 4 rows each. And they fit probably, I think, 4 people, roughly, each row. You get in, sit down, lap bar comes down, so there's a lap bar. Oh, now this is important. For those of you that need to use a wheelchair, unfortunately you do have to be able to transfer out of the wheelchair to ride this ride. We asked a couple different cast members there, and yeah, you do have to be able to transfer. So that's a bummer for those of you that are unable to transfer, but if you can, not a problem. There's a separate boarding area for you, which is going to be, you'll be directed towards that where you go. I believe it's at the exit of the ride. So anyway, I got in, you get in, you sat down, you pull the handrail, and the ride begins. And you're right in the, it's very similar to Great Movie Ride. You know, you see, it's not like the big banner that you see up there, but you see, you just immediately go through, the train's just chugging off, and you go through into the cartoon, and it's a very happy scene. And to describe what you're seeing is very tough, because you are in a cartoon. They use a lot of screens, but you can't tell they're screens necessarily. Like, it feels a lot like you're in Toontown all of a sudden. It's just poof, you're in Toontown. It's insane. And you see different, you know, elements from the cartoon. Like, you look up, and way off in the distance in the hills, you see Mickey and Minnie. You see the Dapper Dans go by on a bicycle, which is really cool. And there's, you know, everyone singing. There's a sun. Very cool, right? And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, so we were in the I guess the first car, which is technically the second, because you have the engineer, the main engine of the train. And what happens is there's these 2 doors, and the doors open, and there's Goofy, which is just like a screen right in front of you. It's super cool. And Goofy starts talking to you. He's welcoming you aboard, and something happens. There's another explosion. I feel like Goofy causes a lot of explosions. Someone should look into this. I don't think he's qualified for this job. Anyway, there's another explosion, and all of a sudden, the train completely separates. So what happens is the car you're in, and then the 3 cars behind you, all start moving independently, because they're trackless. So much like, are they trackless? I don't know if they're trackless. I don't know if that's the right term. Maybe that's not the right term. But you all, yeah, because I think there is a track of some sort. But you all move into a different area, and you know, you see the engine go one way, and it's Goofy, and he's like, oh, you know, doing his scream, and you go the other way. And then you just go through different scenes in this spectacular cartoon world. Oh yeah, before the explosion, I forgot. There's an element very similar to Radiator Springs Racers in California, where you see Mater and Doc and all them, you know, talking and everything in their life size. Up, you know, kind of high up, like on a shelf, Mickey and Minnie come in their car, and they're driving there, and they're like life size, like human sized. They come driving in their car, and they're talking to Goofy for a minute, like, oh, or whatever mice say. And they're talking, and then the explosion happens. So then you get separated, and you start going through this land, you guys, and it is like this amazing, I can't even describe what it's like. You feel like you're in the cartoon. And I was just smiling the whole time. And first of all, I gotta tell you guys, I hate this style of animation. So I was really worried about this ride. I was like, I wasn't super connected to Great Movie Ride because Disney World to me is new still, like 3 years. So wasn't connected to it. Loved Great Movie Ride, actor. But yeah, so I was still nervous about this ride. But the animation style, I got completely lost in it. I loved it. And you go from scene to scene, like all of a sudden you're in a desert and all sorts of stuff happens in the desert. And from the desert, you go into the ocean somehow. I can't remember how you go into the ocean. I didn't take very good notes. Like I was just like looking at everything. It was so cool. And so anyway, but you're in the desert and then you go into the ocean. Now what happens is every single one of these 4 cars that are holding all these guests, the cars each go into their own little like alcove. And then it's just a giant screen that comes down and you're just watching and you're floating and you dive into the ocean and it like the train kind of just goes forward a little bit, but not, I mean, it's nothing scary. There's no drop or nothing like that. But there's a lot of movement on the ride, but it's not rough. So that's what the handrail's for, you know, so you can hang on to it, but it's not like, oh my gosh, there's so much. It's not like that. It's not crazy. You're not going to get sick or anything. But, so then you go under the ocean and you back up out of that alcove and turn. And now what was the whole desert has completely transformed around you into the ocean. And you're in the water and you're under the sea with, not like that under the sea, but you're under the sea with all these fish and stuff like that. It's really cool. And from what I can gather, like Mickey and Minnie are trying to save you and stop all this. But anyway, so from there, somehow we found ourselves on land. Oh, I think a hurricane. No, it was a tornado. A tornado comes, and you can feel the wind. It's like super high-powered wind, and there's a storm and lightning and all these cool effects and everything. And then all of a sudden, you're in this land with like a carnival, and it's a cartoon carnival. You know, you see all these booths and everything. Donald's in a booth, and he's a screen. But you see all these cool things. There's in this carnival, there's a roller coaster there. And there's a sign for the name of the roller coaster, and it's called the Great Moving Ride. Really cool little Easter egg that I didn't actually see. My girlfriend saw, but it was really cool. Yeah, so from there, I don't know. I have no idea what happens. There was so much, you guys. Oh, so from there, you go into like a dance studio, and there's Daisy, full-on animatronic, life-size, like looking like a cartoon, standing up there, and you're in this big wood floor, and you're looking at Daisy, who behind her is like a giant mirror, you know, that goes wall to ceiling, just like a dance studio. So you're sitting there, you're looking at her, and she starts doing dance steps, and then the ride vehicles are kind of shifting and doing this dance step, much like the Luigi's ride in Cars Land. So they're borrowing elephants. they're borrowing elements from the different aspects of Cars Land, is what I feel. But hey, it works. So maybe it's the same Imagineer. I don't know. But it was really cool. So anyway, you just do that for a minute, and then, you know, something else happens in there, which I don't want to spoil too much. But it's really cool. Then you leave there, and you go somewhere. I don't remember where you go. I think, is it the end of the ride? Is that what happens? Yeah, you're at the end of the ride. Everything, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. You guys, it's just so cool, okay? Oh yeah, you go into another scene and everyone's singing and everyone's happy. They rescue you or something. You know what? This ride... Okay, I'm going to get to that in a second. All the train parts come back together. You know, the engineer comes, the engine comes, the caboose comes. Everything comes back together. You form the train, and you're just like back at the beginning again. just like Great Movie Ride, you know, where you see all the clips from the movies and everything. You're now in that room and the train's slowly pulling in and the ride's over. And it's spectacular. I don't know how you're sitting there watching this going like, oh yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. I'm sorry. I know I'm doing like the worst job explaining this ever. All I can say is the ride is absolutely amazing. It's exactly what we need right now. Hearing Mickey, seeing Mickey, being in this cartoon, being transported to a completely different place. You guys, that's what Disney does perfectly. And that's what they did on this ride. It was phenomenal. I loved it. Oh yeah, and this is what I was going to say a minute ago. I think you can ride this ride probably 20 times and still notice a ton of stuff you didn't notice the first 19 times. Because there's so much going on. You are in the cartoon. So imagine just like Toontown in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You're trying to look around and see like everything, all these characters and all this fun stuff, and you just can't. So you're gonna have to just keep writing and writing and writing and smiling through the whole thing. It's a phenomenal experience, you guys. It really is. I loved it. It's very, has the feel of a dark ride. I don't know if you can call it a dark ride. Probably. It's not like a dark ride like Alice in Wonderland, but it kind of is. I don't know. That's tough. I might have to like Google descriptions of dark rides, but it feels like a dark ride that you're in. God, it was good. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. There's so much to talk about. Oh, and this is kind of cool. At the very end, when all the cars, you know how the cars came back together and now you've formed the train again? We were now the third car, which was interesting. So we started the ride, we were the first car, and then when we came back together, we were the third car. So it was kind of cool. It's just weird. It's just neat how they did it. I don't know. Bravo, Imagineers, but yeah. Excuse me, I just talked a lot. I need a sip of my LaCroix. That's right, it's a LaCroix, leave me alone. Phenomenal. Go ride the ride, March 4th. It's not even 2 weeks away, I don't think. You guys, you're gonna want to keep coming back. And so Disney did a great job. I'm impressed, thoroughly impressed. Even though I don't like the animation style, you completely forget it when you're in there. I loved it. So yeah, go ride it. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway at Hollywood Studios. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, like this video, share it, let all your friends see the review. I will at some point be filming it, maybe on March 3rd. Hopefully, I'm guessing there might be a media preview on March 3rd, the day before it opens, so I might try and get down there and film the ride so you guys can see it. But it is just, it's gonna be so hard to film because you'll like all over the place. You might need 2 cameras because it's so cool. But anyway, that's it. That's my review. 10 out of 10. I don't know what this imaginary scale is that I just made up, but I was impressed. I really enjoyed it, and I'm gonna keep riding it and keep riding it because I think it's got that rewritability. So yeah, anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'll leave you guys be. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'd love if you subscribed. Visit me on Patreon, Twitter at Laramie Williams. And guys, please be kind to each other. I'll see you later. Bye.